Court does call the case. This is of the people versus Daniel Magoo.
Ashley Feltus for the people.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Alex Lauren Green on behalf of Mr. Magoo. Thank you. Mr. Magoo, can you state?
Daniel Magoo.
Thank you.
Your Honor, the defense is ready to proceed to examination in each matter. I'd ask for a sequestration order.
I anticipate one witness in each case,
All right.
so it should be over.
All right. Witnesses are ordered sequestered for what that matter.
Actually, Your Honor, I have
You may have. Yes.
I have an issue. I have been requesting the last time I was here, requested that the prosecution provide explanation for the undue delay.
Your Honor, my advice to Mr. Magoo was that I'd be handling the examination today, so just for purposes of the record, I'm advising you not to make any statements on the record of this.
Well, I do actually also want to provide notice that this case is being removed under 28 USC 1455 to the Eastern District of Michigan under case number 25-12440, and due to due process violations that I've been facing.
I don't know what you're talking about. The case has been removed.
I'm sorry, I'm providing notice of removal under case number 25-12-12440.
Have you talked that over with your attorney?
I let him know.
Your Honor, and my advice was I'm not going to be joining in any collateral motions or actions, and that I would address the case.
Are you aware of any motion that seeks to take this case to federal court? I'm not sure how that would even happen.
Right, Your Honor. And Mr. Magoo told me that he has been seeking that action, but I informed him that I am not a member of the federal bar and that I would not be joining him in any of those actions.
Just providing notice.
Okay, I don't know what the notice does, but I'm not. If I don't have something in writing indicating some procedural aspect to it or anything along those lines, the court's not.
Can I give this to you now?
I would advise against.
I don't even know what is.
Notice of removal pursuant to 28 USC 1455 criminal.
What does that statute read?
The criminal proceedings removed to federal court under federal questions involved in this case.
I'm not gonna bite as to what federal questions, because I don't think there are any federal questions.
Fourth Amendment violation.
Which adequately a state court could handle if that were an issue. So I don't think there's any need for the court to even deal with that. I don't know that anything's been filed with the federal court regarding that or anything else.
Filed under case number 25-12440. Eastern District of Michigan.
Are we ready to proceed?
Defense is ready to proceed, Your Honor.
People ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Which case would you?
We were talking over each other. I apologize. If it pleases the court, could we start with the OWI matter?
That being 0523.
I believe that's correct.
That's fine. Start with that one.
Thank you. A couple of housekeeping matters. The court is in receipt of the amended complaint, which is just typing correctly as a felony form. Is that correct?
I do have an amended information. I do.
Excellent. And Your Honor, I do believe defense is stipulating that the defendant has 3 prior OWI convictions.
So stipulated, Your Honor.
So there's a step to the priors.
There it is, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else?
I do think defense is going to stipulate to people's exhibits 1 through 10, which are photos, but maybe not.
Your Honor, I did have an opportunity to review those and we would so stipulate.
And then people's exhibit 11 is a laboratory report. I'm not sure if there'll be a stipulation to that as well.
We would so stipulate.
I'm sorry.
So stipulated, Your Honor.
Okay, so exhibits 1 through 11 are stipulated to,
Thank you, Your Honor.
and therefore admitted.
Thank you. I do expect that the officer in charge of the other matter will probably be informed at some point that the sequestration order is otherwise enacted and followed, so I will call Paul Corey to the stand.
All right, please come forward to be sworn.
Take a seat, raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to affirm the testimony about to give the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. To state spell your first and last name for the record, please.
Paul Corey, Paul-C-O-R-I-E.
All right, you may inquire.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you employed?
I'm employed with the Milan Police Department.
How long have you been employed with the Milan Police Department?
A little under 2 years full-time.
Do you have prior law enforcement experience?
Yes, I worked at the Washtenaw Sheriff's Office prior to that for about 15 years.
Were you working for the Milan City Police Department on or about March the 27th, 2024?
I was
Do you recall what shift you were working that day?
up in my shift 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
And were you ever at the location of Dexter Street and Arcona Road?
I was
About what time were you at that location?
about 1:35 or when I was dispatched there.
Why were you dispatched there?
The 911 caller had said that there was a single car crash into a gas station in that area.
Did the 911 caller, did you have any other information in your dispatch when you were headed that way? Yeah, it's not being offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted. It's being offered to prove why he was headed to that location and other additional information that may have hastened his speed going that way.
All right, I will overrule the objection regarding hearsay. I'll accept it for what it's offered for, other than the truth of the matter.
Thank you. Did you have any other information from the dispatch?
I believe that the caller said that there was a single subject walking around outside of the car and possibly injured.
And did you make that location?
I did
Do you recall about how long it took you to get there?
maybe about 5 minutes less than.
Less than 5 minutes? When you arrived, what did you observe?
A car that I saw a SUV that appeared to have been crashed into a sign outside the gas station here. Dexter, and there was a single male subject standing around the passenger side of the vehicle.
What did you notice about the vehicle first?
It was definitely crashed there and not parked. There was some extensive front end damage.
And Your Honor, may I approach with People's Exhibits 1 through 10 for the court?
You may.
Thank you. Officer Corey, you took some photographs that evening.
Yes,
Did you take a photograph of the vehicle as you found it?
I did.
Actually, more than one, would that be fair to say? And when you saw the vehicle, how did you determine that it had been crashed as opposed to just parked there?
Due to the amount of front end damage that it had, and it was still in contact with the signage there.
Did you make any observations about any other parts of the vehicle?
It was the windshield was smashed in a particular fashion.
And
It
go ahead.
appeared that it was impacted from the inside rather than the outside.
How could you tell that it was impacted from the inside rather than the outside?
It was falling outward instead of inward, and there was no like gouging from the outside of the windshield.
And when you were looking at the windshield, would you describe the cracking in any particular way?
In a circular fashion. It's brought off the driver's seat.
Did you look inside of the vehicle?
Yes.
Where did you observe about the inside of the vehicle?
There was quite a bit of personal property inside of the vehicle, and the passenger and all the front and rear passenger seats, indicating that there was probably only one occupant at the time of the crash.
Did you look at the windshield?
Yes.
What did you observe about the windshield?
What stood out about the windshield was there was a lump of what appeared to be human hair attached to the cracks in the impact area on the inside of the windshield.
How would you characterize the color of the hair that you saw?
Light brown, maybe dark blonde.
Did you make contact with any people at that location?
Yes, there was a male subject standing near the passenger side of the vehicle when I arrived.
Do you see that person in the courtroom today? Can you tell me where that person is sitting and what they are wearing?
Seated at the defense table wearing the green jumpsuit.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that witnesses identify the defendant?
No objection, Your Honor.
Record shall so reflect.
And sir, when you made contact with the defendant, what did you talk with him about, or what did he do?
I asked him what had happened.
What did he say?
He said I wasn't here.
What else did you notice about his appearance?
He was bleeding from a cut or some type of injury. There was a lot of blood. It was kind of hard to tell where it all was coming from. It appeared it was bleeding from the top of the head.
Did you notice anything about his clothing?
It was disheveled. There was blood on it. Front zipper was down. The zipper was down on his pants.
Did you look at the color of his hair?
Yes.
Based on your observations, did that appear consistent with the color of the hair in the glass inside the car? What happened next?
He maintained that he was not driving the vehicle. He could smell the odor of intoxicants coming from him. We called for medical assistance just based on his injuries. And so while they were on the way, asked if he would take a preliminary breath test, which he agreed to.
Without getting into the results of the preliminary breath test, did you make a determination about what had happened that evening?
It appeared on his face that he was driving the vehicle and it got into a crash. And he may have been intoxicated while he was doing it.
Did you place him under arrest for OWI?
Not at that time.
When did you place him under arrest for OWI?
After the ambulance came, it was determined he was going to go to the hospital while he was receiving medical treatment, and I read him his chemical test rates. I advised him at that point that he was under arrest.
Did he agree to take a test?
No.
What happened?
He refused to take a test. Poor judgment on my part. I did not have him restrained in the hospital bed while I left I believe that his injuries were significant enough that he was not going anywhere. I went out to my car to start preparing a search warrant for his blood, at which point a nurse came out and told me that he had fled the hospital.
Did you find him?
With some assistance from Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office, yes, I did.
Where did you find him?
An apartment complex just south of the hospital.
Were you able to take him back to the hospital?
Yes.
And did you complete your search warrant?
Yes.
Was it executed?
I just a note for the court, Sergeant Crusadis, helped me prepare the search warrant while I was dealing with Mr. Magoo in the hospital. However, I did review, since I was going to the warrant, I did review it to make sure it was accurate based on my observations at the time of the incident.
Did he make I'm sorry, go ahead. No, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, sir. While you were waiting to do the blood draw, did he make any statements to you?
He looked at my uniform and appeared to be confused as to why he questioned me as to why Milan, the city of Milan, was doing all of this. And
what did you say to him?
Asked him where he thought he was, and I said he was insane. He thought he was insane.
Did you ask him to perform standardized field sobriety tests?
I did not.
Why not?
Mainly due to his injuries, and even though he did comply with the request for a PVT, he was generally uncooperative with most things that we were trying to get him to do, or asking questions about what had happened. So then based on the extent of his injuries, we were more concerned about getting him medical attention at that point.
In your training and experience with administering standardized field sobriety tests with people who've been in traffic crashes that have injuries, is there any guidance that you've received from NHTSA on that?
It can be, especially with what was clearly a head injury that was sustained in a vehicle crash, it could have impacted the results of the standardized field sobriety tests.
Your Honor, may I approach with People's Exhibit 11, the laboratory report?
You may.
And Officer Corey, you did receive a laboratory report back in this case? And do you recall what the VAC was?
I believe it was 0.127.
What did you do with the vehicle? Or what was done with the vehicle? Let me ask that. Do you know what happened with the license plate?
We confiscated the plate, as the operator at the time, who we believe to be Mr. Magoo, had several prior convictions for suspension and operating while intoxicated, requiring a plate confiscation.
Pursuant to state law, you had to take it. And may I have a moment?
I do have one question. How much time elapsed between the time you were notified that he had left the hospital and when he was located? Do you know?
I believe it was about 40 minutes, Your Honor.
40 minutes?
40, yes. Your Honor.
Okay. All right.
Officer Corey, Mylan, what county is that located?
Well, that's interesting. It's half in Monroe County and half in Washtenaw County. The incident itself occurred in Washtenaw County.
Thank you. And that is in the state of Michigan?
Correct.
Mylan kind of abuts the two counties, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. And Your Honor, I pass the witness.
All right, cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I inquire? Afternoon, officer. My name is Alex Warren Green. I represent Mr. Magoo in this case. So you're dispatched for a single vehicle accident, right?
Correct.
And that's at a mobile gas station, and it appears there was an accident from an SUV into the sign, the mobile sign, right?
Correct.
And like you testified on direct examination, there was a 911 call placed, and that person didn't provide a name, did they?
They may have, it is something that I didn't end up following up on.
So you never talked to the caller, did you? And are you aware if anyone talked to that caller?
I am not aware that anyone did.
So as soon as you get there, Mr. Magoo is on the passenger side of the vehicle, right?
Standing outside, it's on the passenger side.
Okay. And that car was not registered to Mr. Magoo, was it?
Correct. It was not.
And like you testified on direct examination, he had a wound to his head, right?
Yes.
It's bleeding pretty bad.
Yes.
There was an injury to the front and back of his head, right?
There's photographs of an injury to the back of his head, yes,
Okay.
and the front.
And he appeared to be dazed.
Yes, it was difficult to say if he was out of it due to the head injury or his level of intoxication, maybe a bit of both.
And you didn't conduct the field sobriety test because you were concerned that the head injury you observed might impact the field sobriety test, right?
There was a possibility, yes.
So you testified on direct examination, you saw the windshield was smashed and you saw blood, right?
Correct.
There's a chunk of hair in the windshield, right?
Yes.
You take a picture of that?
Yes. And let me backtrack. Sergeant Mercedes actually took the photograph of it.
And most of the time you're talking to Mr. Magoo, he was wearing a hat. You recall that, right?
I don't recall that. You may have been.
So it's dark outside, right? And
Is that a yes? 'Cause I don't think we got.
oh,
Oh,
so
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
It's okay.
Yes, it was dark.
Okay, go ahead.
and there's a significant amount of blood on his face and it's going into his hair, right?
Correct.
Okay. In this case, you did submit evidence to the crime lab for forensic analysis, right?
Blood test, yes, blood sample.
Right. So no hair follicles, right?
No.
And there was no attempt to obtain any forensic match between the hair or the blood that was found in the car with any hair or blood from Mr. Magoo's body, was there?
You were correct, there was not.
Okay. On direct examination, you talked about field sobriety tests. You said you're trained in the administration of field sobriety tests, right?
Yes.
And you forewent the field sobriety tests in this case, but no one asked him at all to perform those field sobriety tests, did they?
That's correct.
And after this initial interaction, when, you know, the ambulance arrives, he goes to Trinity Ann Arbor Hospital, right?
Correct.
And did you accompany him in the ambulance or you follow behind?
All done.
Okay. And you read him his chemical rights at the hospital while he's in the bed, correct?
Correct.
And he refused at 2:51 a.m. Is
That's
that?
correct.
And after he refuses, you leave the room to go and work on the affidavit for the search warrant, right?
Correct.
And then Mr. Magoo vanishes.
That is also,
Okay. You didn't see him leave.
I did not.
You had no idea where he was.
Nope.
And like you said, he wasn't handcuffed or in any way restrained to that bed, was he?
He was not.
And there were no officers standing at the door or otherwise supervising that room, were there?
No.
And through your investigation, you determined he's located at an apartment complex at around 3:40 a.m. Is that right?
That's what is in the report. I think I listed a time in there. If you want me to look at, refresh my memory.
It would refresh your recollection to look at your report?
It will.
Okay. Your Honor, if I may approach the witness.
I think it's.
He's got a copy
Okay.
that was turned over, so if you look at that, if you believe that will refresh your recollection.
Yes, I did. He was located about 3:40 a.m.
Okay. And he's returned to the hospital. The blood draw was completed at 4:28 a.m. And of course, there's two blood draws done. So it's 4:28 a.m. and 4:29 a.m. Does that sound right, officer?
That sounds correct.
Okay. So in an ideal OWI investigation, you want to have eyes on the subject from the time you make the scene until the needle enters the arm, right?
I do. Yes.
Okay. One of the reasons you do that is to make sure the subject doesn't consume anything that could impact the blood test, right?
That is correct.
And Mr. Magoo was unaccounted for nearly an hour in this case, right?
That's correct.
And in your search warrant affidavit, you didn't mention that, did you?
I don't believe so, no.
Thank you for answering my questions, Your Honor. I have nothing further at this time.
Read your.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Corey, were you able to obtain information that the defendant had previously been pulled over by a different police agency operating this car in March of 2023? And after he was recovered and brought back to the hospital, did you have two deputies stand by with him and handcuff him to the gurney?
I handcuffed him myself, but luckily I had a couple of deputies that were free for the moment that were able to watch him while I finished up the search warrant.
Thank you. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Anything?
Your Honor, if I may, one.
May want to mute your microphone.
Your Honor, just briefly.
Yeah.
Thank you. Officer.
Oh, and can I just ask one other question before you, and I'll let you ask your question.
Of course, Your Honor.
The PT, if there's,
Alex, muted.
okay, the PBT, are people going to seek admission of that if defense is challenging the results
Yes, Your Honor.
pursuant to the statute?
Correct.
And Your Honor, I understand that the people could rebut that kind of challenge. I'm not sure that we have gotten to that point yet. The case law.
Well, I just want to make sure that if there is going to be a challenge to the results, that under the statute, my understanding is, although these aren't entirely the circumstance under which it happens, but it seems to me an analysis could be made that the PBT would then become admissible. Just so that defense counsel is aware, but you may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it. Officer, before Mr. Magoo was admitted to the hospital, did you yourself search him? Search his person?
I'm
It's outside the scope of my redirect, Your Honor.
I'll allow him. Yes, go ahead.
He was wearing a jacket, right?
I believe so, yes.
Do you go through all the pockets of that jacket?
I normally would, yes. I believe I did.
Okay. Officer, when you completed the refusal to submit to chemical test form, in this case, do you recall writing the refusal time as 1:35 military time?
No, I don't recall that.
Would it refresh your recollection to look at the refusal to submit to chemical test form you completed?
I would. I think
Yes.
things that I did. I don't recall why I would put that time there.
Well, again, officer, thank you for answering my questions. Your Honor, I have nothing further at this time.
All right. Ms. Lundy.
Officer Corey, you would agree with me that this says refusal date, but it does not say refusal time, correct? It just says military time?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. And lastly, Your Honor, in anticipation of an argument that the blood result is not accurate, I would ask a question about the PBT, but if that argument's not going to be made, then I don't need to.
Your Honor, I would object to any mention or admission of the results of a preliminary breath test in this matter. I'm not sure that I have raised an argument that regarding its accuracy or regarding a rising blood alcohol level or anything like that. I don't think I've opened the door to that.
Well, I don't think you have. I just want to make sure we're prepared for the argument. But if that argument is going to be made, then I'm going to let the people question as to that. But
Your Honor, I don't anticipate making an argument regarding a rising blood alcohol level or anything to that effect at this point.
well, but are you going to make the argument that the blood alcohol result at the time of the test, well, I'll just do it this way, is it lower or higher than the?
Your Honor, I intend to make arguments on what has already been stated on the record, and I'm not to.
What does that mean?
From the defense, I don't anticipate any further questioning regarding the blood alcohol results from either the lab or the preliminary blood test.
Okay, again, that was very cagey the way that was put, but I'll just put it this way. What I will do, Ms. Lundy, is I will not permit the questioning at this point. However, if it is raised in argument, I may entertain a motion by the people to reopen their proofs to take testimony regarding that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you.
I have nothing further.
All right. You may step down, sir. Thank you. Yeah, shut down. I'm not done. So the system went down?
Yeah, it says that my calls are still recording, but.
We don't
the
know.
Software shut down,
I'm not gonna take a chance. Do we know when it happened just now?
just now.
Just now, okay. What the court's gonna do is court's gonna stand in recess. We need to take it back up.
Understood. Thank you.
It's worked too hard today. Court's in recess.
All right.
Yes, you guys are-
Once again, District Court for County Washington, State of Michigan is now back in session. The Honorable Judge, Cedric Simpson.
You may be seated. Call him out, yeah. Fear of angering anybody. I don't think I've seen public defenders work this late. Anyway, court recalls the case, People versus Magoo.
That spells the people.
Alex Warren Green on behalf of Mr. Magoo. Mr. Magoo, could you state your name again, please?
Daniel Magoo.
All right.
Your Honor, I think we had finished with our officer, Officer Corey. I don't have any additional witnesses.
All right, go ahead, you can have your conversation. You might want to mute the mic.
Your Honor, no witnesses from the defense.
All right. I have a motion.
Your Honor, I move to bind over as to count one and let counts, I think it's 2 and 3 on this
Yes.
web follow. I do believe we presented sufficient evidence to establish by probable cause a circumstantial case that the defendant was the operator of a motor vehicle on the date and time in question at the location in question, that he did have an alcohol content of 0.08 grams or more. Your Honor, the people were able to present evidence that when the vehicle crashed, that the windshield of that vehicle had been hit from the inside. There was blood and there was hair consistent with the defendant's hair. And the defendant had a head wound on the front of his head. And that, along with him being at the scene of the crash, I do believe is sufficient circumstantial evidence to establish by probable cause that this matter should proceed to trial. I'll reserve any further arguments for rebuttal.
Your Honor, the defense would object to bind over in this matter. In making the bind over decision, we'd ask the court to consider the lack of direct evidence linking Mr. Magoo to operating that vehicle. Your Honor, I have nothing further at this time. For the record, we are objecting to bind over.
I think there is certainly, when one looks at the exhibits, particularly exhibits 1, 2, 3, are the vehicle in which the defendant is around, which has crashed into a pole, and that the pole, quite frankly, did not give way much. And then what also would establish then there's a second piece of establishing the defendant was operating that vehicle, or People's Exhibits 4, specifically 4, which is clear indication of the spider webbing, and what Officer Corey testified to are the damage to the windshield, the circular damage above the driver's side, to the window, as indicated, a circular pattern, not or similar to certainly what this court has seen over the years of individuals who are unrestrained in vehicles who are then involved in a crash, alcohol related or not, where their head strikes the windshield. And then exhibits 7, 8, 9, and also 10 that show blood and also injuries to the cranial area or the head area of the defendant, along also with Officer Corey's testimony regarding the hair, although not analyzed, but certainly the color, texture, hair, his observations regarding the hair that is in the windshield, all certainly point to and would give rise to probable cause that the defendant was operating that motor vehicle at the time of that crash. Additionally, then there is testimony regarding blood test results, which then occurred at the hospital later that day, indicating a blood alcohol content of 0.127, which, absent anything else, could be used to presume that that was his blood alcohol content at the time of the operation of the motor vehicle. So that the record is clear, even to the extent the defendant's unlawful escape from custody at the time from the hospital may go to the weight to be given to that blood alcohol result, but does not negate that blood alcohol result. The court is sufficiently satisfied that people have sustained their burden of showing by probable cause that the defendant did operate a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol or intoxicants. So therefore, for those reasons, the court would bind the defendant over on count 1 with the stipulations to the previous convictions of the defendant, with counts 2 and 3 following.
Your Honor, do you want to proceed on the arraignment?
Yes, let's just do that now.
We would waive formal reading of the information, stand mute.
Defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute, court will enter not guilty plea as to all 3 counts. Pretrial in this case will be
October 9th at 1:30 with Judge Slay.
October 9th, 2025, 1:30 before Judge Slay. That case bond will continue.
Can I find information, Your Honor?
Yes, you may. Have her exhibits back. Oh, you had an extra that you,
I had extra information.
that's fine. Court also now calls the case of People versus Daniel Magoo. That's case 25F30979.
That's spelled for the people.
Alex Warren Green on behalf of Mr. Magoo. Mr. Magoo, could you please state your name for the court?
Daniel Magoo.
All right. Ready to proceed on this case?
We are, Your Honor. Prior to beginning, I will inform the court, and I did inform defense counsel, I do intend to, if the proofs bear it out, to add a count of resisting or obstructing an officer. And I believe defense counsel is aware of that. That would be contrary to 75081D as in dog 1.
Okay.
Right.
And Your Honor, to also provide notice of this, notice of removal pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1455. This case has also been removed to the United States District Court of Eastern District of Michigan under case number 25-12441 for Fourth Amendment violations along with others.
This court has no knowledge, as I last case, of any removal, has not been notified of removal, and so has not been presented anything with removal, nor anything presented which would show a procedure in which the state action would be removed to federal court. So for those reasons, while you want to say it all the time on the record,
Yeah, that's it.
to the extent it's a motion of any type, that's denied. You may call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. People call Colin Cheney.
Sir, please come forward and be sworn.
See, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? See, state spell your first and last name for the record, please.
Colin Cheney, COLLINCHENEY.
All right, you may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, how are you employed?
Michigan State Police is a trooper,
How long have you been employed as a trooper with Michigan State Police?
about 2.5 years.
Do you have any prior law enforcement experience before you were a trooper?
I do not.
Were you still employed on or about July the 3rd, 2025? What were you working that day?
That was road patrol.
And where were you road patrol at?
Washtenaw.
Do you recall what part of Washtenaw County you were doing road patrol at about 7:45 in the morning? Were you traveling westbound on 994?
Yes.
And is that location in Washtenaw County, state of Michigan?
Correct.
Did you notice any vehicles while you were traveling westbound on I-94?
Yes.
What did you see?
Coming up near, westbound on 994, I observed a red sedan that looked like it was traveling faster than the rest of the traffic on the freeway.
What did you do?
I caught up to it, and when I got closer to it, my radar picked up the speed reading.
And what was it reading?
It was going 90 miles per hour.
What did you do next?
I got behind the vehicle, I activated my overhead lights to conduct a traffic stop on the vehicle.
What happened after you activated your overhead lights?
Shortly after, the vehicle merged over to the shoulder, got got down to around 40 miles an hour and rolled for half mile to a mile before coming to a complete stop at about 40 miles per hour.
What happened after the vehicle came to a complete stop?
I approached the vehicle, spoke to the sole occupant of the driver, of the vehicle, and told him I was Trooper Ching with Michigan State Police and requested his driver's license.
Did you see what position that person was inside of the vehicle? Was he operating the vehicle? Do you see the person that was operating that vehicle in the courtroom today?
I do.
Can you tell me where he's sitting and what he's wearing, please?
He's sitting to your right in a green jumpsuit.
Your Honor, may the record reflect the witness identify this defendant?
No objection, Your Honor.
Record shall so reflect.
When you made contact with the defendant and asked him for his driver's license, what happened next? Did he say anything to you?
He did.
What did he say to you?
I can't exactly recall what it was that he said, but somewhere early on, he advised me that I did not have the right to stop him. And actually, right after I asked for his driver's license, he asked what my reason for the stop was.
What did you say?
I told him that I observed him on my radar. I observed his speed on my radar that was over the speed limit.
What happened after you told him that?
I requested his driver's license again.
Did he give it to you?
He did not.
What happened after he didn't give you the driver's license?
He stated that I did not have the right to stop him because he was traveling in a private capacity and not a commercial capacity.
What did you do?
I advised him that he is required to provide a driver's license at the request of a peace officer.
Did he provide you a driver's license?
He did not.
Did you observe anything about the vehicle's license plate?
The vehicle's license plate did not look familiar to me. I had not had a chance to actually run the plate.
Okay. So while you're at the side of the car and you're speaking with him, are you continuing to request his driver's license?
Multiple times.
Is he ever providing it to you?
No.
How long do you think, well, I want to ask that question. As this is going on, what are you doing?
While I'm speaking with him, I requested for back because he's not being very compliant.
You asked for what?
Backup.
Backup? Okay. At some point, did you return back to your vehicle?
I did.
And what did you do when you got back there?
I attempted to run the plate. Did not seem that the plate existed. Essentially,
What did you notice about the plate once you were able to examine it?
was not registered to any specific state.
Do you recall what it said on it?
It's a diplomat on the top, non-expiring on the bottom, and I believe it's a non-commercial.
Were you ever able to get any information about the vehicle?
Not on the plate.
How did you get information?
I read the VIN of the vehicle.
Were you able to find current registration for the vehicle when you ran the VIN?
I did not.
Did you request that the defendant continue to provide you his driver's license throughout your interactions with him? Did you ever ask him to get out of the car? When did that happen?
On my initial contact, after not receiving a driver's license multiple times, I advised him to step out of the car. And after going back to my vehicle, coming back, I advised him he needed to step out of the car. And none of those were followed.
Did you eventually get him out of the car?
Yes.
How?
I told him he had one more chance to step out of the vehicle on his own. And he said he was not stepping out of the vehicle. So I pushed his window, which on initial contact window was all the way down. After backup had arrived, I believe sometime after, while I was going back to the car, he cracked the window. I put my hands in the window and I shoved the window down into the car. I reached in, unlocked the door and unbuckled his seatbelt. At that point, he stepped out of the vehicle and was handcuffed.
And you didn't break the window, you just pushed it down?
If any damage, I did not break the glass.
I should say, you didn't shatter it with your stick.
Correct.
Thank you. Thank you for correcting me, Trooper. Were you wearing a body camera on the day that this happened?
I was.
Was it functional and operational?
Yes.
Have you had a chance to review the recordings from that day?
Yes.
And Your Honor, with permission, the people would like to propose to admit Exhibit 1, which is the body cam, but I'm only going to play select portions of it.
Yes. Is there any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right.
The first segment is about 8 minutes long, Your Honor.
Before playing that, the license plate, did it say, was it black and white? Do you recall? If you recall.
It was either black or dark blue, white, something along that line.
And it said diplomat across the top.
Correct.
And then at some point at the lower, maybe left, right-hand corner, talked about it being non-expiring or something along those lines.
Yes.
Oh, joy.
May I, Your Honor?
Yes, you may.
Thank you so much. And this is got sound, so I apologize if it's too loud at first. I'll adjust it.
Well, down here on Parkway, it looks like you see the intersection of slow, blue, triangle, left, right, and someone to raise their back for it. It'll be a replacement car. Stop. We don't know the traffic is there. Stop. What's that? My radar, sir. I need your driver's license. My radar is out of my vehicle. Where is your driver's license? No, it's not matter what your tax speed or a violation of speed. Here's your driver's license. Okay, where's your driver's license? Yes, you do. Okay, traffic stop. By law, you have to identify yourself. Yes, sir. Traffic stop. Violation of the law. Stop, Jim. Conducting investigation of the violation. You must identify yourself. According to Michigan law. Please say violation. It's not commercial. It doesn't matter if you're going to get ice cream at McDonald's. I can stop you for speed. Where's your driver's license? Okay, where's your driver's license? Yes, you do. Where's your driver's license? sit here and wait for a supervisor, so. I understand that. If you cooperate with me, I need your identification, we can get you out of here. Yes, I do. Oh, and you're required to identify yourself to a police officer. It does not matter what capacity you're traveling in. It does not matter what capacity you're traveling in. What about the plate? What are the plates supposed to mean? I know nothing about that plate means. What does that even mean? That means nothing to me. Who are you? Trooper Chief, which is great. So I work with the brand code, my back number is 1245. Now, if you don't identify yourself, you will identify yourself. Yes, sir. From a radar gun? Yes, sir. It's mounted in my vehicle, according to everybody. You know, let's take troopers, police officers all around the world to seek an answer because they're fighting these guns. Okay, well, I haven't experienced that, so I feel for those state troopers. Identify yourself. What is your name? You don't want to leave in what is your name? You don't want to leave. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I am here on the side of the road with you. You need to identify yourself. Yes, you did. That is why I'm stopping you. Why did you roll? For what reasoning? What reason do I have to call my supervisor? Because you don't want to listen to me? If you are not obeying the law? So. Identify yourself. What are the dog tags? Let me see the dog tags. That's hoping you. I'm not doing it. Now. Identification now. You step on the page. Yes, you have. That's why I'm stopping. Okay. Do you want to say anything? You are escalating the situation. You need to identify yourself to me. I'm not going to argue with you anymore. You will step out of this vehicle. You will identify yourself. I ask you to cooperate with that next mission you have on the road. Next trooper chief, Eric step back. That's number 1245. Why am I calling my supervisor? I'm not going to tell him. Let's have you call him right now. You're not going to tell my supervisor. See my nation. 90 miles an hour on the freeway. Mark 70. I don't know who you are. You are. You will identify yourself to me. Identify yourself. Take your name. What's your name? Do not leave.
And Your Honor, skipping ahead to about the 33-minute mark, close as I can get it.
All right.
What's up? What's going on? Okay, the criminal? Okay, I'm not worried about that because I'm acting with the law right now. You're not acting with the law. I'm giving you one more chance to step out of the car on your own. You don't get one right now. You don't get one right now. You'll get one before you see a judge. Yes, you will get one before you say a judge. You have the right to remain silent if that's what you would like before talking until you can talk to a lawyer. No, not right now. Step out of the car. That was your last chance. Hey, hold on. Alright. Put your phone down. I'm not coming home. Step out of the car. Try and fix your vehicle. He said I will keep my phone. Oh, put your phone down. Leave it recording. Stay here.
Trooper Cheney, were you able to eventually ascertain the identity of the driver, the defendant?
I was.
And did you check him in lean?
I did.
What did you discover?
He does not have a valid driver's license in the state of Michigan.
Did he have any warrants at the time that you pulled him over?
He did. To correct myself, he didn't have a valid driver's license at all that I saw right.
Not at all. Okay, thank you. After you arrested the defendant, what happened next?
I asked him if he had any reason that he needed to go to the hospital for. He advised that he had rapid heartbeat.
Did you go to the hospital?
We went to Chelsea Hospital.
The Trinity Health in Chelsea? Is that right? Or Chelsea Hospital?
Just Chelsea Hospital.
Okay. And after, was he cleared by medical staff and taken to the jail?
After receiving medical assistance at Chelsea Hospital, we went to Washtenaw County Jail.
May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Just so that I'm clear, he told you he had rapid heartbeat. You took him to the hospital, he refused medical treatment.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Here, I'll pass the witness.
Cross-examination.
Your Honor, before I begin, may I very briefly confirm with opposing counsel?
Okay.
Good afternoon, Trooper. My name is Alex Warren Green. I represent Mr. Magoo in this matter. Trooper, this was on July 3rd of this year, right?
Correct.
Day before Independence Day, right?
Correct.
Tons of cars on the road. And this was on I-94 in Scio, right?
Yes.
And that is a 70-mile-an-hour limited access highway or freeway, right?
Yes.
And in your experience as a state trooper, you know that conducting traffic stops on the freeway is dangerous, right?
Yes.
There's high speeds, distracted driving, right? There's large commercial vehicles like tractor trailers, and like you already said, lots of traffic, right?
Yes.
And another reason that it's dangerous is because there's limited space on the shoulder to conduct the traffic stop, right?
Correct.
Trooper, on your direct examination, we saw video from your body worn camera. In addition to the body worn camera, you have a dashboard mounted camera, right?
Yes.
And the dashboard mounted camera activates when you activate the overhead lights, right?
Correct.
And when you activate it, it captures 30 seconds back in time, right?
Correct.
Okay. And Your Honor, I believe this is by stipulation. I would ask to play a portion of the trooper's dash camera. I'd move to admit it.
It's defense A.
This would be defense A, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
Trooper, can you see that on the screen right in front of you?
Yes.
Trooper, I'm just gonna pause right there. This is your dashboard mounted camera from July 3rd, right?
Correct.
And there's some writing on the screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Trooper, I paused at exactly 30 seconds. This is when you activated your overhead lights, correct?
It should be very close. Yes.
Pausing the video at 1 minute and 18 seconds. Trooper, you'd agree with me that both you and Mr. Magoo are in a stationary position at this time, right?
Correct.
And Your Honor, I'm going to take down the exhibit at this point. Trooper, after you reach that stationary position, he never put the vehicle back into motion, did he?
No.
Well, at least for the duration of the traffic stop, he didn't put it back into motion, did he?
No, he did not.
And the patrol vehicle you have, it has a mounted radar system, right? That's mounted on your dashboard.
Yes.
And that radar system, you can obtain a printed document that tells you the readout obtained at a particular time. Is that right?
I'm not aware if I'm able to do that. I've never been taught how to do that or seen any of that.
So from your mounted radar, you have never obtained a printed document suitable for court. Is that your testimony?
Yes.
So
I'm not aware if it is possible or not. I just have never done it and do not know how to.
understood. Thank you, Trooper. You followed Mr. Magoo's vehicle for a period of time before activating your lights, right?
Yes.
And once you did activate your lights, he did in fact decelerate, right?
Yes.
And shortly after that, he moved over to the shoulder of the road, right?
Yes.
And then you following Mr. Magoo went over an overpass, right?
Yes.
And that overpass has metal barriers on either side of it, right?
Yes.
And after you get to the end of the overpass bridge, that's when he brought the car to a stop, very shortly after you got to the other side of the bridge, right?
I wouldn't necessarily agree.
Well, Trooper, you'd agree with me that the entire time after you turned your lights on, following Mr. Magoo was under a minute, right?
Yes. With my lights on behind it, yes.
And on something like an overpass, there's even less space to conduct your traffic stop, right?
Typically, yes.
Because of the metal barriers, if something were to happen, you can't just jump into the ditch or the grass, right?
Yes.
So after you're stationary, Mr. Magoo's stationary, you walk up to the window, right?
Yes.
And you two have a discussion, right?
Yes.
And Mr. Magoo didn't hit the gas pedal, did he?
No,
He didn't open the door and start running down the freeway, did he?
no,
He didn't take a swing on you or any other officers that responded, did he?
no,
He didn't reach for anything on your utility belt, right? Your Honor, if I may have one moment. Thank you. Trooper, the reason for this traffic stop wasn't because of a license plate, was it?
not at the time.
And the reason for initiating the traffic stop wasn't because of an invalid or expired license, was it? It was for speed, right?
Yes,
So at the time you initiated this traffic stop, you hadn't witnessed any crime occur in your presence. Would you agree with me?
other than a speed violation, I did not.
Thank you for answering my questions, Your Honor. I have nothing further at this time.
Any redirect?
Trooper Cheney, if you recall, what did the defendant tell you he was doing when he was driving on the shoulder and not pulling over and stopping for you?
He advised he was emailing his summons for a trial that he has against prosecutors and magistrates in Washtenaw.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Your Honor, very briefly on that.
Yeah, go ahead. That opened up a whole bunch of stuff. Go on.
Thank you, Your Honor. Trooper, on behalf of Mr. Magoo, after you saw this plate, you didn't call the embassy, did you? You didn't call the Department of Transportation, did you?
No.
All right. Your Honor, I have nothing further at this time.
No redirect. Thank you, Your Honor. Excuse.
Trooper, you may step down. Thank you, sir.
No objection.
Witnesses.
Your Honor, at this time, we will move to add count 6, assaulting, resisting, or obstructing a police officer for Trooper Colin. And I have no addition, contrary to 75081D1, I have no additional witnesses at this time.
The defense calls no witnesses, Your Honor.
All right. And response to their motion to bind over.
Thank you, Your Honor. The defense would object to bind over in this particular case. Your Honor, the court has seen the video. We are asking the court to consider the evidence here. Our position is that it is insufficient even at a probable cause standard. The video, the dash camera specifically showed that after the troopers' overhead lights went on, Mr. Magoo did make an effort to decelerate. He moved over. After they went across the overpass bridge, he did bring his car to a stop. Your Honor, he didn't need to be physically extracted from that vehicle. He did get out. He got arrested without incident. For the record, Your Honor, we would be objecting to bind over.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, I do believe we have laid more than sufficient evidence to sustain both felony counts that have been presented today. Furthermore, Your Honor, the people will note the extreme restraint that the trooper showed while dealing with the defendant and not escalating the situation, continuing to try to resolve it as peacefully as possible. I think the court saw in People's 1, the 33 mark where the court could clearly see Lieutenant Kratzenberg, and there were 2 other officers from Chelsea PD as well as an additional trooper who had all come to the scene to help. I do believe we have presented sufficient evidence for at least what we have. And I do think there's an argument that there's more than one resisting and obstructing based on what's been presented today for the 2 different interactions that were shown. But I've added the 1. I have nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
Court, after hearing the testimony in the case, would agree with the people that there's sufficient evidence to show that the defendant committed the offense of fleeing and eluding 4th degree. And I think it should be clear that the driver's obligation is to hold their vehicle over when those overheads go on behind them. He did not really do that. Prior to getting what's left out of the defendant's argument is he's traveling quite a ways prior to him even getting to that overpass, there are other places, if the argument's being made, that he couldn't have safely pulled over. When you truly look at it, there are other places that he could have pulled over, could have done so safely. And anybody that's seen a vehicle pulled over, yes, the trooper actually, or the officers actually put themselves and their vehicle more at risk because of the way that they line their vehicle up when pulling a vehicle over. So that vehicle could have stopped well before, quite frankly, the overpass and well before the time that it did. So I don't find that argument very persuasive, and would indicate that the people have sustained a burden regarding the fourth degree fleeing and eluding. Also, just noted, the trooper, his voice is telling him, it was in People's Exhibit 1, he's sure he knows that Mr. Magoo can't hear him, or whoever's in that vehicle can't hear him, but he is saying, pull over. He's trying to implore that vehicle to pull over. So the court will bind the defendant over on count 1. With reference to the added count 6, the resisting and obstructing, I think it goes without being said that the restraint that this trooper showed was amazing. Probably one of the reasons I'm not a police officer. I don't think I could have shown that much restraint on the side of that road. That it seemed like forever before that door opened. The officer, the trooper, would certainly been well within his rights to have acted, opened that door at some point in time. What was actually phenomenal is that he did not do that, that he left. He was not looking to indeed escalate it anymore. And it was just amazing to me. And only when it came down to the point that something indeed had to be done did the trooper take action. Quite frankly, that behavior is, well, I've always told people around the country, with all due respect to other state troopers and all of the places I've been, I think Michigan has the best. So, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. What he did was just amazing, because a lot of people, as the defense was pointing out, a holiday time of travel, a lot of people were put in jeopardy, not by what the trooper did in pulling the vehicle over, not by the manner in which he pulled it over, but by, quite frankly, Mr. Magoo's obstinance in not answering the trooper and not complying with the order of the trooper. There are probably, and I think the people are right, that there's probably more than one resisting and obstructing here. Since the people aren't asking, I won't add an additional or 2 counts, or at least, of resisting and obstructing. I will only add 1 of resisting and obstructing as an added count 6. So defendant, so the record is clear, is bound over to stand trial on counts 1 and 6, those being felony, with counts 2, 3. Yes, it's 2, 3, and 4 and 5 following as misdemeanors.
Your Honor, with respect to the Circuit Court of Raymond, we acknowledge receipt of the information, waive its reading, and stand mute.
Defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute. Court will enter a not guilty plea as to all 6 counts. Pre-trial in this matter will be
October 9th at 1:30 with Judge Slay.
October 9th, 2025, 1:30. Judge Slay.
Governor, I can have an amended information over by about noon tomorrow, adding that count 6. And of course, we don't have it prepared right now.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Get that up there. Bond will continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Magoo, I'll come see you tomorrow.
And I go off, I'm in recess. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm in recess. Hurry up, take me off. Am I good?
Feel green.